It has been 5 years since the Flint crisis began, which was back in 2014. And the city of Flint continues to struggle to recover from the water crisis. Some say it has even been normalized. RT correspondent Sarah Montez de Oca is here with the details. Sarah, 5 years. Can the people please have clean water?
Scotty, it has been 5 years since the city of Flint, Michigan was exposed for having lead contamination in its tap water, affecting tens of thousands of people to this water contamination. The water crisis began when city officials switched Flint's water supply from treated Lake Huron and Detroit water to raw water from the Flint River, all to save money. But the new water source was contaminated with lead from the city's old pipes that infiltrated the water supply. In a new documentary, Flushing Flint, independent journalist and filmmaker Jordan Sheraton highlights the critical problem that Flint is still facing. President Trump is important. Don't get me wrong, Russia is important. But an American city 5 years later does not have clean drinking water. That says something about our culture. City and state officials denied there was a problem for months, even after it caught national attention. Since then, 15 city officials, many of whom worked for the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality Water, have been charged and are awaiting trial. Meantime, a silver lining for affected residents. Just last week, a judge ruled that residents can now sue the federal government on mishandling a response to the crisis. The question remains whether the city's tap water is safe to drink. A state of emergency remains in place as officials continue to work toward clean water and completed upgrades to water service pipes. Earlier this year, U.S. Representative Dan Kildee said the city is making progress, but still has a long way to go. We should, by the end of July, certainly by the end of the summer, have been able to replace all of those lead service pipes that have been the source of the poisoning. But people don't trust it yet. They were told the water was safe once before when it really wasn't. Now, according to the EPA, the lead levels in water need to test just below 15 parts per billion. Now, since the crisis, Flint's lead levels have improved. In the latest water test results from January 2018, the water contained only 4 parts per billion in the 90th percentile of some of the high-risk homes. Now, that was at the height of the crisis. On average, these homes were testing at 20 parts per billion. But in late 2018, reports came out that Michigan Department of Environmental Quality had improperly tested homes for water contamination by flushing before taking samples. Residents remain concerned, that many of them upset that they're still paying some very high water bills in the state for water they don't feel safe drinking. Meantime, a bottled water company could help bring the city back to its feet. Zero Mass, which is a company based in Scottsdale, Arizona, is holding talks with the city of Flint to open up shop there. The company claims to generate renewable clean drinking water using air and sunlight with their trademarks, making hydro panels, and are deployed all around the world. Source is off-grid, using solar energy to raise the dew point inside the hydro panels, driving passive condensation, resulting in high-quality water that is pure, similar to distilled. Public relations representative said that the project with Flint is only in its very early stages, but hopes to move forward with its plans. Scotty, it's 5 years later, and Flint continues to struggle with something as basic as clean water. Now, let's keep in mind that the majority of the residents that were affected by the tainted water were some of the poorest and people of color. And although lawmakers say the water testing will continue for a very long time, let's just hope that data provides a clear future for clean water for the people of Flint.
Well, Sarah, it's obvious the struggle is still happening. Good to see there's at least one solution on the table. But I have to ask, over 5 years, has there been any convictions? Because obviously some cover-up, some wrongdoing has been done.
Well, a lot of officials are still awaiting trial. However, those that have undergone trial, they pleaded no contest and have only faced misdemeanors or community service. But for those still awaiting, we'll see if any other convictions come from
And
that.
I find interesting the congressman was in before this crisis was, and he's still sitting there now. It's up to the people. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.